while you're here, we just got to mention that this coming weekend is a pretty somber anniversary for your department, for the city of Brooklyn Park as a whole.
Yeah.
As we mark the 1 year since Mark and Melissa Hortman were killed in their home. That's coming up this Sunday. I know there's, things that are being done to honor that moment. Last night, the city council, it was a proclamation that they had to honor this. Is that you think that's going to be a tough weekend for your department?
I think so. I think so for a variety of reasons. Tough weekend for the city as a whole. Melissa was incredibly impactful. She was deeply connected to Brooklyn Park, had done so much for the community, and myself, she was a friend of mine. I mean, I would testify at, I remember last year before her death, I was down at the Capitol testifying, and one day I walked in and there was lots of people in the room as she was giving, they were talking about a topic that she wanted to hear from me, and I was a little late. When I opened the door, she literally stopped the meeting and said, "Stop, my chief's here. I want my chief to come up front." And she'd bring me up front and then say, "Now we're going to listen to what he has to say." That's just the kind of empowerment that she had for me personally, but certainly throughout our community. So she's deeply missed, and I think it's going to be really sad for our community. It has been sad, and it's going to be certainly sad this weekend. For the police department, this is really a big impact. I mean, this was probably one of the biggest incidents in the state of Minnesota, and it landed in Brooklyn Park, and we were forced to face with something that was not even imaginable for any of us, and extremely complex. And that it was so complex and impacted so many, from lawmakers to hundreds of police agencies, that we have asked for a really robust after-action report to the cost of $429,000 to have experts from all over the nation that are the experts in specific fields related to law enforcement and investigations to do a deep dive on everything that was done around this incident, to really make determination where did us in Brooklyn Park, but state patrol, other police agencies, where did we do really well in this incident, and where there's opportunities where we should have done better. And that's what we're relying on to come back to us, hopefully in the next month or two, to really give us the details of where we performed.
Yeah, it is a situation where, for everything that you train for and prepare for, and there's a lot of, training, there's a lot of scenarios that are run through. There was certainly a lot of uniqueness to this one, that that kind of after-action report is probably very illuminating in terms, because it's how did we respond to this if this scenario comes up again, because it was so kind of unimaginable.
Right. Yeah, and there's so much. I mean, this is an individual that had a well thought out plan to kill hundreds of individuals that day. The fact that he was stopped really, really early on his attack is incredible. And yet completely tragic for how much damage that he did in our communities and to people that we loved. But with that, he was dressed as a police officer, which made it incredibly complex. He went mobile on foot and impacted a large area of Brooklyn Park that we had to put in lockdown, that we've never put an area that large in lockdown for that long, and then escaped out of that area and was the state's largest manhunt, and then let alone many lawmakers that were involved because they knew that they were targeted as well, but yet we had to find ways to protect them. And in a lot of ways, maybe we didn't do the best job of getting to them quick enough or fast enough or do the right things. There was no playbook for what occurred that day, and I think we have to learn from it to make sure there's areas that we improve upon in the future.
Yeah, learn from every incident that happens. There was a Minnesota Star-Tribune kind of digital article it kind of just went over the timeline from the very beginning until the end here. And one of the things it pointed out and maybe raised a question about, although it wasn't really presented that way, was just the amount of time it took from, when first getting to the Hortman's home before going in. But in that time, that hour or so, but in that time there were drones that were sent in to clear the house, because there were officers behind the house within minutes and nobody saw the suspect leave. Though that's part of the learning, I would imagine, here is trying to, he managed to get out quickly, but there were officers checking those exits very quickly too.
Yeah, yeah, it's incredibly complex. It's 10 times even more complex than what the timeline is of the Star Tribune, which is why we asked for a robust review of the incident. Now, I'm certainly aware of all the facts, and there is a lot of them that are complex. You know, one of the things that is a misnomer is the police didn't go in right away. They did. They did go in right away. They rescued the person they thought was actually Melissa, and it was Mark, and they rescued him and started doing CPR immediately. That's just one small fragment of information that you can't get in a timeline that is created by the Star Tribune, which is exactly why we have spent $429,000 to have the best experts in the country review this entire incident with all the facts available to them, and then be able to determine where are the opportunities where we could have done it better, and where are the places where, wow, Brooklyn Park officers and other state officials and other police officers did an amazing job, because there was incredible work that was done around this by the men and women that wear blue uniforms.
All right. Well, but it will be certainly some somber moments this weekend for that. But before that, you have a very bright few hours tomorrow with some great kids and some great officers. And
Melissa loved this. I mean, she loved this type of programming with the police doing these type of events. It just seeing these pictures of us with the kids and connecting with them would have made her smile, and it makes me smile thinking that we're going to be doing that tomorrow.
Yeah, like I said, I've been out to that and similar events, and it is fun to see the joy in the kids and the joy in the cops.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Well said.
All right, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Good to see you.
Yep.
We're going to take a quick break here on All Day Live. We'll be right back.